Got my rifle so I can go fishing. Gonna catch me some fishies. Boom. Okay. Hello, welcome to the Preacher Plays. Today the Preacher that is me is playing The American Dream, and more specifically this is the review of The American Dream. This should be quite quick. Let's start off by saying this has to be one of the weirdest freaking games I've ever played. It's a satire on American gun culture, and basically the premise is that you do everything with guns. You fish with guns, you open up beer cans with guns, oh, I need a new clip. You feed your baby with guns, you wash your car with guns. You get the picture. You do everything with guns. And this guy, Buddy, he narrates and talks throughout the entire thing, and you know, it's actually pretty funny. The game's pretty funny, but I'll get to that in a sec. So first off, the easy things. Graphics. What are the graphics like? It's very simplistic. It's all cardboard sort of stuff. Like every character's made out of cardboard or wood or whatever you call it. And it's quite simplistic, but it is very sharp. It's nice and colourful, and it looks nice. Sound. The sound's pretty serviceable. It does a half decent job. The guns all sound pretty good. Some of them sound a little bit toy-like. The reloading sounds good. The music's not bad, but the biggest issue I had with the sound is the volumes for different things are all over the track, so that there isn't a very good mix between, you know, voice volume, music volume, etc. It's a bit all over the shop. Tracking. What's the tracking like? Pretty much spot on. I don't know if you can see, but it's fairly spot on. Everything just looks absolutely, you know, one-to-one. And they actually do a really nice thing, which I want this implemented in every game that uses dual-handed weapons and move controllers, because this is a move control game. And that would be... Ooh, what's in there? Can I move that out of the way? And that would be... You can use the second move controller and press the trigger to grab the rifle, and then you can pivot it. So you can actually use it like a rifle, aim down the sights, and pivot the gun how you want. If you let go trigger, it just becomes a single-handed thing, so you can shoot with just one hand, but it's much better and it feels more realistic because you're actually aiming and you can pivot the gun to like lead targets and things. So I would like to see that in every game. Plus, obviously, the reload mechanics are cool. You press the move button, drops out a clip, grab it, put a new clip in, slide the bolt, and then after every shot with this rifle, slide the bolt back, slide it back forwards, cocks the rifle. So the mechanics in the game are actually very good as well. So, story. Basically, it's a satire, as I said at the beginning, of the American dream, which in this case is to own every gun and do everything in your life with guns. You start off as a baby, and you essentially live your life all the way through, pretty much, to your 20s, mid-20s, 30s. And you go on dates, you gotta take your date to the carnival, you gotta answer questions when you're a baby. You get your first job working at a burger joint. You gotta flip burgers. You work at a car wash. You have a baby. Your wife has a baby. You even have to do like crazy things like prepare to have sex with your wife, where you have to. It looks really ridiculous if somebody's sitting watching you play because you have to do a pump action shotgun and. You have to pump the shotgun like really hard, so you have to go like this to set the barrel on fire so that you can light candles to make the mood romantic. It's all a bit strange and a bit weird, and the game just gets, if you think that's weird, the game gets even weirder as the game moves on. So there's not an awful lot much more to say about it. Normally I ramble on about games for like half an hour, but that's pretty much it. It's just a collection of mini games, and that's the biggest problem that this game's got. On first playthrough, it's funny, you know, and then it gets a bit crazy and mental, and I didn't like it when it got weird. But it's funny, it does poke fun at America and its weird obsession with guns. But what happens is it's the same joke like throughout the entirety of the game, and it just goes on and on and on, and and this guy, like this narrator, like talks constantly, and there are some times where he absolutely kills the pace of the game. Like the pace of the game just dies because you have to sit like this, listening to him to monologue for like 10 minutes. He just talks and talks and talks and talks and goes on and on and on, and you're like, oh my god, I want to shoot something. And that's the biggest issue. Where it's funny the first time through, even though towards the end you get fed up with hearing the same type of joke. It becomes tired by the end of it. It's still kind of funny on your first playthrough, but once it's over, like right now that I've completed it, what is there for me to go back? Because you still have to, as far as I'm aware, there's no way of skipping past his monologues. So you still have to listen to him time after time after time. And what you're left with is like this, you're left with a collection of minigames. That's all you're left with. That was a bad shot. You're left with just minigames. And they're not even, some of them are tied so strongly to the narrative that they're not much of a game themselves. They're just there to get him to go to his next bit of dialogue. And it's not that entertaining, really. It's just, you know, it's fun at first, like, oh, I get to take the dirt off my car with a Tommy gun. Oh wow, that's novel and different, and it's funny. The second time you do it, you think, all I'm doing is I'm just doing this. Oh, there's another cargo obsessed. Done. It gets boring, and I think if you're interested in this game for the weird sense of humor that it's got and the strange satire, I think you'd enjoy it on a first playthrough, and you get bored by the end, but you'd enjoy most of the game on your first playthrough, and then that's it. It's one and done. You play it once, you enjoy it, and you go, right, that's it. So my recommendation would be, this game is available to buy physically, so I'd perhaps suggest go out, buy the game physically, play it, enjoy it, and then when you completed it, put it on eBay, trade it in, get rid of it, because you're probably not going to play it again. I mean, there might be some people out there that really enjoy it and want to just keep playing it, but for me, it's like, once it's done, there's nothing. I've seen it, I've heard the jokes, it's just the same thing, and the games aren't fun enough to keep me playing. I mean, this one here is probably one of the favorite games that I had, where you just have to shoot all the different fish that's on this list, and then you have to fight a giant, like, boss fish. How come he's not dying? Yeah, this is probably one of the most fun ones, and this gets a tad bit boring as well. Yeah, I think this is the boss fish coming up shortly. Yeah, there it is. See the big boss? You can't hear him talking, by the way, because I turned him off, because he literally talks like forever. I think that's pretty much it, to be honest. Yeah, you gotta hit the little red targets. Yeah, the game gets very bizarre towards the end, like very, very bizarre. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that was the Preacher Plays. That was the American Dream. Final bit of advice, summarize. Decent game. Tracking's good. Sounds a bit all over the shop. Graphics are nice and sharp. It is funny to a point. It does outstay its welcome. You do get bored of it. And the replay value is, well, for me, it's a one and done game. You play it, you enjoy it, you get bored of it, and then that's it. You don't play it anymore. You're fed up with it. So, yep. That's a Preacher Plays American Dream, and yeah, not bad. It's okay. Catch you guys later. See you there.